to the spot where the mics are hot. Every word we drop got flow like a shot. Got stories to tell and jokes that hit hard. Come join the fun, it's a brand new yard. We bring the vibes, the beats won't stop. Tune in now, we rise to the top. Laugh, cry, shout, feel every drop. This podcast here is cream of the crop.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another R2J podcast. Today we have a special guest. His name is Aaron. What's up, Aaron? How you doing? Give me a little thing. There you go. Little context right here. Aaron was an old college mate back in the days from Lamar.
That's right.
LU. So, Aaron, can you tell the viewers who you are?
Yep. So my name is Aaron Castetter. I am a prior enlisted United States Air Force. I was an engine mechanic, or aerospace propulsion is the tactical name, for 6 years. The purpose of me kind of reaching out to you and kind of to coordinate is so that I can try to give you guys some better information, kind of what the Air Force is, going into boot camp or so boot camp or basic training. This is what the Air Force has. Boot camps like Army, Marines, or whatever. But so going into basic training, going to tech school, then going into like operational Air Force.
Yeah.
As well as kind of talk about like a little bit about like transitioning from the military and kind of going back into like the civilian life.
Yeah. But also too, like let people know, like, okay, do you guys really want to go to college? You know?
Yeah. That's
another thing. Because like I said, that's what we met at college.
Yeah. We'll talk about that too, because I did go back to school while I was in the military too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Okay. So like, I think I want to say it's the first year we met. We were in physics, I want to say.
Physics, yeah, I think
probably
we had
calculus,
all kinds of different stuff.
I don't miss those days, trust me. I'm definitely not going back. I'm done.
I don't miss it, and I never even use that stuff anymore today. So it's like, what was the point of even learning all that stuff? It seems like.
Yeah, I don't think I'm never gonna use calculus.
Nah.
But still learning new things. Like my job just recently sent us to Baton Rouge, learning project management, and I could see where it could be useful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that type of learning, I don't mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those crazy math stuff, like, we're never gonna use this.
I don't miss the days, honestly.
Yeah. But I call it. So, what made you kind of change from going from college and then going to the military?
It was just it was me doubting school. I was doing okay grade wise. I just didn't know. I didn't feel passionate about it. I didn't feel passionate about going. So I was doing mechanical engineering.
Yeah. You were young. You were straight out of college.
I was straight out of high school. Yeah. So I was like 19, 20 years old. And then, so I was questioning on if that is what I truly wanted to do. I didn't know if I was passionate. I mean, I know I loved like taking things apart and putting it back together again. And I like kind of coming up with reasons why engineers or designers came up with that design.
Yep.
I like that kind of stuff about it, but from what I had like seen online at the time, it's like people were just like, in mechanical engineers in the industry were like, I hate this job. You know, I was like, I don't want to be that guy either. You know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of test myself to see is doing a mechanic related job what I wanted to do, and then my dumb ass went into the military and to test that theory, which is like the worst idea ever.
Yeah. Hey, but you learned a lot from there, though. I mean, it's experience. You know what I mean?
I should have done like process operations, like inside like the actual plants and stuff like that, which is where I wanted to go anyways. That was the industry I wanted to go to. But I kind of always like growing up. I always kind of like romanticized like the military a little bit, like watching the movies and stuff like that.
It was Air Force you went to, right?
Yeah, it was Air Force. So I'll get into that because it's fun. Whenever I was like, I dropped out of school, right? My dad was paying for college and stuff like that too, so I wasn't like incurring like a whole lot of like debt or anything. But I felt like I was wasting his money, you know, because I was like conflicted internally on like what I wanted to do. So I was like, look, man, like don't pay for my next semester. Like, let me try to figure these things out. And then like a month later, I told him like, hey, I'm going to the military. And he's like, no. I was like, yeah, sorry, I already.
And you were in like what, year and a half or 2 years in college?
Oh yeah, so I did 2 years in college. Yeah, so I was able to, I guess, lock my credits into like an associate's degree. I think it was like mathematics or something like that. So my credits were locked in.
Yeah.
So they didn't like go to waste. So if I ever wanted, like, I could transfer those credits wherever I needed to, which is what I ended up doing eventually. And then I can like pick it up whenever I want to.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah. I was stuck in a boat like that because I got my first degree at LIT and I got computer drafting.
Yeah.
The only issue right there is that the only credits that actually transfer over for mechanical engineering was the basic English, theory arts, just stuff like that.
It's like the first year stuff that you knock out.
Yeah. And I could have went for information technology bachelor degree, and all my credits would transfer over. So I would just need to go to college for 2 years and get that degree. But with mechanical engineering, I literally had to like start over.
Yeah.
So that was a hard decision to make. But I was like, you know what? That's what I want to do. That's how I am. If I want something, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah, just send it.
Yeah.
Which is what I didn't do. I left. I gave up, but I picked it up later
Yeah.
on.
But I was just a different situation than you because I was older. I was like one of the older guys in there, and I was painting cars and stuff with a local dealership here.
Yeah.
And I told myself every year, I don't want to do this shit. When I'm 60 years old, 70, because I seen the other guys who worked there with me, they were getting up there in age and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
And the pay was okay, but we're commission based.
Yeah.
So and during the holidays, people didn't want to bring their cars in, so we were struggling during that time.
They're trying to save money for the holidays and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So there's less work, and when there's less work, people aren't getting jobs and you're not getting paid and stuff like that too. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Man, I don't think you regret it either, right? You don't regret swapping over to your degree over to mechanical engineering? Yes.
No. Because at the end, I already knew I could have went for a drafting job, but then I'll be like you said, I'll be more curious. Okay, why are we designing like this?
Right.
I will just be that curious to understand why. And I know a lot of companies want you to have that degree, the mechanical engineering degree, or literally just an engineering degree at
a piece of paper that says mechanical engineering.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much all they want to see. Yeah, I've read interesting stories. It's like your degree is only good for like up to 6 months after you leave college. And then once you get your job, then it all goes into like how many years experience you actually have doing that job. Yeah. At that point, the degree doesn't matter.
Yeah, which is crazy because some job says, oh, we need entry level, but entry level is 2 years experience. Like, come on, really?
Right, yeah.
It's crazy.
So I left college. That was going to put me into industry, working in the petrochemical industry and refining industry. Went to the military for 6 years, and I left. And now I'm working. Now I'm working currently in the petrochemical industry.
Yeah, doing exactly what?
So I'm an account manager for a company called Veolia, and what we do is we sell. Specialty
like in Beaumont, right? Going to
yeah. So we have a mixing plant going towards. What is it? I think it's Exxon Mobil down there, like going down towards Houston.
Yeah.
We have a mixing plant there, and we also have another one in Orange too.
Like how long you been there?
Since I got out in 22, so 3-4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You might actually know my friend Eric Gratney. He used to be a chemist.
No,
I'm not sure.
Is he in this area?
He used to work at that location here. I think he was there for like I think almost 10 years.
Yeah, he might. I don't know if I've ever met him.
If you see my podcast, he's like the black guy with some glasses.
Okay. No, I mean, if he is he in Houston now, or is he?
No, he works I think at Arkham. I want to say.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if I ever met him.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. For me, I do like sales. So I'm actually inside the customer sites. I'm grabbing, I'm collecting the data. And then we sell in the chemical, right? So I have to make sure all of our chemical tanks are topped off for them, make sure that our pumps are constantly pumping. And then we're trying to solve the customer's problems as well, right? We're trying to make sure that they don't have equipment failures and stuff like that. Then if they do, and then we're not treating it, it's like, how can we go about solving that problem for them to reduce the amount of costs that they could incur for those kind of failures? So
yeah, but then once you're in those plants, you got to make sure you got to treat those customers good.
Yeah,
you don't want to lose that.
Well, there's another competitor at the door, right? So if you're not satisfying the customer, they'll go to the competition, who might even give them a better price too. I mean, it's a very competitive market.
Very competitive.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, I'm slinging chemical, and it's nothing that I ever really planned. I got out of the military, and then my dad's like, "Hey." He works for the company. Actually, he's like a senior level like application engineer.
Okay.
So he designs the chemical applications that I would go and sell, right? Mm-hmm. So he makes sure everything like the chemical that is selected works for that application. So he was doing that, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "Come." He's like, you've done your shift work. Don't go be an operator just now. You're trying to start a family and stuff like that. He's like, come do this first, and if you don't like it, go be your operator. Go do what you want.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you end up liking this, he's like, it's a much more flexible schedule. He's like, just try this.
It's sales, right?
It's sales.
It's sales.
So it's still kind of commission based and stuff like that too. But I mean, there's a base salary. You get a company truck. You can put and do whatever you want on it. Like you don't have
nice.
to, I don't have to pay insurance. I don't have to pay any kind of note on it.
Yeah.
I pay like $80 a month for like gas
Oh,
and unlimited gas. So it's
Yeah.
like it's actually pretty nice. So we only have like one car note. I don't have to have like two car notes, one for my wife, one for me, or anything
Yeah.
like that. So it saves a lot of money.
yeah.
So,
I was debating about trying to go on sales in my previous job, but I was like, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I just wasn't sure.
it's a lot of talking to customers.
Yeah.
And then
Which I don't mind.
I had to do presentations as well with them, and then I mean, kind of some of the things like with podcasting too. That I'm sure that kind of helps with those kind of develops those kind of skills and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. That's what like I told some of my guests that like that's one another reason why I started this podcast because a lot of times you got do presentation or meetings, you got manage the meetings, so that way it kind of actually helps out with your nerves.
Yeah. So honestly, controlling your nerves and stuff like that while you're in kind of these, I guess, scenarios around a table, right, with like all your customer high level engineers or process engineers kind of all staring at you like, hey. And hopefully the setting is good, right? Hopefully you're in there doing a good job, because if it's very bad job, if you're doing a bad job and you're like on the verge of losing your contract, they're all staring holes in your body, right? But if you're doing a good job and stuff like that, usually conversations are pretty.
Here's a tip for everybody: if they ask you, if the customer asks you for something and you don't know, don't say I don't know. Just say I'm not sure, but I'll go get the answer.
I'll get you that answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
Never tell them you don't know.
Yes, that's the worst thing you could do.
Because if you tell them you don't know, it looks like that you don't have control of your business. And if they see that, then it's like, well, if he doesn't have control in this aspect of his business, what else does he not have control over? And at that point, you want to question the whole contract on what's being fulfilled and what's not being fulfilled. And like I said earlier, there's competitors at the door knocking on, trying to get that contract from you. So you don't want to lose it.
Yeah. I remember at the previous job I was at, we won the contract for mechanical seals. So I had to go into that one site, and luckily we had drawings from the previous vendor, and we just kind of somewhat had to duplicate it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we would have to like go out in the field and verify it was the right seal.
Yeah, all the measurements and everything are all right.
Or even sometimes just go look at the warehouse and see that it was accurate. The last thing you want to do is just look at it and you designed the wrong seal, and then you get it there. Everybody's expecting it to fit there, and it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. Yeah.
Which also that happened one time. I think it had like a mechanical seal that the pump had like plan 11, I want to say, on the mechanical seal. But then out in the field, I couldn't go verify the pump because it was like taped off. And it was taped off for a long time, so I couldn't go. So I had to just go and buy their drawings. Well, I didn't know that they had upgraded the seal to a dual seal. So I had luckily I caught it in time where we had time to make the drawing for the second seal and then actually make it as well too, manufacture it. So dodge a bullet right there.
Oh, nice. But yeah, that was like kind of me transitioning back into like the civilian world. So I mean, going back to like to school and stuff. So I dropped out of school after 2 years of going to college at Lamar University, and then I went and talked to a recruiter, and he's like, "Hey, you've got college experience." He's like, you instantly, based off however many credits hours you have for college, it kind of sets what rank you'll go into as in the military. Which I think the highest can go up is like A1C, which is like pretty low. I think it's like E2 or E3 or something like that. But you can start off at pretty much at that rank. So that's what I ended up doing. I remember my dumbass though signed a 6-year contract instead of a 4-year contract. There's two options, 4 or 6. I should have signed the 4, and if I wanted to renew my contract for an additional 2 years, I should have done that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I locked myself into 6 years instead of 4. But I don't regret it. I mean, everything that happened in my military career was great. But if I could go back and change like one little thing, that would be the thing, to just be like, hey, let me just do 4 years. Because at that point, I'd already gone back to school, finished, and then I was like, all right, let me get out of here, right? So, but I still had 2 more years left.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, you get to learn a lot of things, and then you get discipline as well too. And
that's one thing I needed too.
Yeah, and even me when I was younger too, I wish I had like somebody telling me things to do to be more disciplined and stuff. Because when I was younger, I was lazy. I didn't do nothing though.
I was lazy, and I had like an issue with like listening to maybe like adults or something like that, or like for me, it's like my parents, right? It's like you don't want to listen to what your parents got to say. Like they're not the smartest person in the room, even though like now I look at them, I'm like, holy crap, these guys like knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But,
As maybe you gotta know how you need to talk to your kids. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
every kid is different, so they're gonna take it a certain
yeah,
way.
now that I'm a dad, I'm like, I always have to like look back at that. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like I didn't understand it when I was a kid. And so how can I explain it in a better way that they might be able to
Yeah,
understand?
and you have a good little girl, right?
I have a little girl, 3-year-old girl, and then I have another one on the way. She's
Yeah.
due in April.
I say congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you.
But 3 years old girl, man, I know when she turns 15, 16, I don't know.
I'm not looking forward to it, but
I
I know
know.
these 3 years have flown by so fast.
Once you have a kid, it just ramps up.
Well, people always told me, they're like, hey, like when you have a kid, time's gonna go by really fast. So it's like treat all the moments as like very precious moments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever, sure. Like 3 years. I mean, now I look back at it 3 years after, I'm like, holy crap. Like I felt like I went to sleep for like 2 nights. And the next thing you know, I wake up and I have a toddler running around my house,
Mm-hmm.
Screaming like whatever she's screaming,
Yeah. But you
about acting like a dinosaur usually.
but you about to do it again.
I'm about to do it again. Yep. So now we're going to go back to step one, and I'm going to make sure that for this time, for sure, we want to cherish those moments, those early moments.
Yeah.
Even though originally at the first time we went through it all, it was like, just please stop, please sleep through the night, like, but I'm going to cherish them more for the second one for sure.
Yeah. So you were in the military for
6 years. Yeah. So I went in, I think it was 2016 is whenever I joined.
Mm-hmm.
I went into Air Force. So speaking about even getting into the doors, right, of the recruiter. So I went to the one in Beaumont, right? So they have 4 different doors you walk into. I didn't know there were 4 different doors because they have like these big old like signs like that cover the doors, right? It's like tinted film or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see where the doorway opens, but I thought like whenever you walk into one of them, there's like cubicles, right? And you just walk to whatever cubicle you wanted. Not the case at all.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's like individual, like isolated walls. So my dumbass walks into the Marines thinking like, oh, I'll just turn right, and go talk to the Air Force or Navy or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I walk into the Marines and they're like, oh yeah, man, you gotta join Marines. And I'm like, dude, I'm not about the Marines or Air Force. Like I had a plan always. Because I wanted to test my mechanical like aptitude. I wanted to see if that's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I always kind of had a plan, and Marines and the Army was like not the thing for me. Not that I couldn't do it or anything. It's just like it wasn't part of my plan, right? So they had me do like a mock ASVAB test, crushed it, and they're like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
We
Is that
want- we
is that
want
the
you.
same test that they give you? I remember I took a test for the Air Force or something like that.
Yeah,
And-
you might have actually taken it in high school.
I did take one, a test
they
in
did
high
like
school.
they did like a ASVAB test for you in high school, and then you do like a ACT and SAT.
Yeah.
They
They were calling me. They were calling me like constantly. Like
Yeah, if you do good, man, they
Yeah.
want you.
Yeah,
they
they-
want you in there.
they wanted me because in high school, man, like I said, math was always easy for me.
Yeah.
I always, even when I would just sleep through the classes or not even pay attention, I'll still pass my
Yeah.
class. And like I said, I was just lazy in math.
Yeah.
Now the class that I always struggled was English. For whatever reason, I always had to go to summer school.
Well, it's like all English language is just weird in general, and
Yeah.
it's like all the punctuations and stuff.
It's probably more like the English, like the old literature stuff. You know what I mean? That we're not gonna really need.
Yeah, there's like 16 words that mean the exact same thing as one word.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I don't know, all that weird stuff. Anyway, so I walked in the Marine office. I do their practice ASVAB test, crush it, and they proceed to keep talking to me for like 3 hours on like all of the job listings that I qualify for, which is everything.
Okay, nice.
And then they're like, "Oh yeah, you can go like Marines and stuff." And I was like, "Dude, like I just want to leave." And they're like, "All right, just go ahead." Like that guy was a good recruiter. Like he wanted you to join, and he kind of kept you in there for a little while. I didn't want to disrespect him either, so like because obviously I'm trying to join the military. Right? I don't want to disrespect anyone as soon as I'm like trying to go through the door. Anyway, he finally let me go, and I like instantly just like walked right into the Air Force one. And I just talked to the recruiter there, and he's like, "All right, yeah, you're good to go." He's like, "Look, you're gonna go take the actual ASVAB again, crush that one too." I think I got like in the 90s, 92 or something like that. So I qualified for like pretty much every single job. I will say though, for anyone out there, as a word of advice, if you're looking into go into the military and you're going through the recruitment process, do not, and you do really good on your test, and you can actually like select what job you want. Do not go open anything. So what I mean is like if you go open general, you're going to get any job that's in the general criteria.
Oh,
So
right.
like, I think open general, I think it qualifies for like security forces, which are like military police basically, all the way to like janitors, man. It's like the generals is like very all encompassing for like military. If you go open, anything that has an open slot, you're going to go right into that one. So you don't select your job. So if you go open mechanical, which was an option, the processing time for it is very slow, very, very fast, I guess. So if you go open mechanical, you're going to go straight to BMT, basic military training, very, very quickly. For me, I wanted a specific job. I wanted a mechanic job, but I didn't want to go open. I didn't want to get like some weird mechanical job that doesn't going to give me any kind of real world experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was my biggest fear because I always had a plan, right? I wanted to have a job that I could leave the military if I didn't like it, and I can go easily transfer that skill over to the civilian world.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing. So I went in there, qualified for all the jobs, and I looked at all the mechanic jobs for aircraft maintenance, and one of them on there was aerospace propulsion. Didn't know what it was because they use like all these tactical names. Not tactical, but tactical.
That's cool, yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of different options. And I was like looking at it, I was like, I don't know what all these tactical names are. I was like, what the fuck are they actually? And so aerospace propulsion is what the job that I had. It's just an engine mechanic on an airplane.
Oh, wow.
But I had to Google it. I was like, I don't know what aerospace propulsion. I mean, I can kind of guess by looking at the name of it, but I was like, I didn't know the specifics of it. So that's a job I ended up selecting, and it took me 8 months to get that job opening for me to go to BMT for that one job. And then we went to BMT. Everything was great. Interesting story though. So my career is nothing special, but there's a lot of interesting things that happened in it that's like completely abnormal from, I guess, a lot of other people's perspectives of the military.
So were you working at ships and stuff like that, or just it's mostly like in the base, let's say?
Yeah, you're like locked into the military base at the airfield, right? So you're just working on the plane that you get assigned to. So my Air Force specialty code, which is like for anyone out there, it's like Army, Marines or something like that. It's like your MOS basically, your specialty. That's your actual job. I think Marines and Army are like infantry first before your actual specialty. But for Air Force and Navy, it's like you are your specialty, right? So for me, it was like 2 Alpha, 6X1, and then I was H shred. What H shred was like your turbo propeller planes, or your engines that had turbo propellers, which instantly locked me into like 2 or 3 planes that could ever be in the whole Air Force fleet. And one of those was the plane that I worked on, which was the AC-130 gunship.
Oh, really?
That plane was badass, man. And ended up going on 3 different deployments to Iraq. And we also pulled out of Afghanistan. Our plane was overhead watching, making sure nothing happened to that airfield as we were trying to take off all of our C-17s out of that airfield. So yeah, very, very interesting stuff, but like NBMT, man.
So you were there when the U.S. pulled out from Afghanistan?
I wasn't boots on ground,
Okay.
but our plane was flying in and circling overhead with the guns pointed at the ground in case, like, I don't know, it was like the Taliban, right? The Taliban was like storming. After we pulled out of Afghanistan, like Taliban took over the whole country in like less than a week.
Yeah. We had no plans. We failed there.
It was horrible. Yeah. It was poorly executed. But it was also a good thing that we did do it because we didn't need to be there anymore. Like we were there. It was a forever war, 20 years. Like we needed to be out of there, but the way that we did it was just not good.
It's crazy. I know I've seen some pictures or video of some of the people trying to climb on the planes and stuff like that. It's like, come on.
So a lot of the video feed that you guys actually watched on the local news and stuff like that, that was actually our plane that was recording it overhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So our plane was the one just doing circles, just watching everything, making sure everything was good.
What were you guys thinking? Like, oh, are these guys trying to actually mount the wings?
Yeah. Well, we saw them like storm the airfield and stuff like that, trying to like get on. That just goes to show like how scared people were of the Taliban whenever they were coming in and taking over Afghanistan. They were so scared. They didn't know what was going to happen. They literally like before they were like beheading. Oh, I guess the United States trained the Taliban, but the like ISIS guys and stuff like that, where they were just like beheading people all the time. So they were scared. I mean, a lot of people that for them to admit that hey, we like the United States here, we could probably get them killed. So they just wanted to get the hell out of there. So they were trying to get on the planes and just book out, even if they were gonna die, like climbing the wing.
Yeah.
They just wanted to try, So yeah, it was sad seeing a lot of those videos. We actually saw the bomb that went off that killed the 13 service members, that suicide bomber.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so there's 13 U.S. service men and women that died
really?
as a suicide vest at one of the front gates to that airfield in Afghanistan. Yeah, we watched that happen. It was,
wow,
it was pretty bad.
Sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, going back to BMT though, man. I don't know how true this is, but this is what we were told by our military instructors there. There's 2 flights, or I guess there's only been like one in history. There's only been like one flight that's ever graduated BMT that didn't walk across the bombing run, which is like a old, like, I don't know if it's like a runway or whatever it was, or a little bombing run, but you march across it on your graduation day from BMT, and your parents are all up in the stands, your commander's up there. Anyway, you like march right in front of them so they can see you as you're graduating. So one flight, the very first flight when the Air Force was created, didn't have that because it wasn't an option yet. And then our flight, like my whole graduating class for BMT, was like the other one that did not get to do it. And it wasn't because of weather or anything like that, but it's because some guy got super pissed off at his commander and went and shot him. So there was an active shooter while we were graduating our basic military training.
That's wow.
It was crazy. So I graduated BMT in a hallway of some random building. And yeah, so that was the start of my military career. Yeah, right at the very beginning.
You're like, man, what did I get myself into?
It was like, dude, this is not going to be a normal career for you.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So this is from day one of graduating. Now you're an official airman. To, hey, you know what? You're going to have to, this is the reality. Sometimes it's not always great, So that was the case there. That guy, it was like a murder suicide, I guess. The guy killed his commander, and then he shot himself.
Wow.
But yeah, that was my graduating day. But I do have some advice though for BMT, for people that are going in there. Don't try to be the guy that like stands out as much as possible, and don't
like
be
the cocky or whatever like that.
I mean, cocky, yes, because it's a big team aspect.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're learning how to be a team with other people from around the country or even the world. I mean, we had some guy in there that was from. He was an older guy. He was from Egypt. He was just trying to get a citizenship for the United States.
Okay.
And one of the easiest ways to do that is to join the military, right?
Okay. So it is true that you could actually become a citizen.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you join?
Yeah, if you serve your country, yeah, you get your citizenship. So one of the things that like in process for the military is you get your actual U.S. citizenship while you're.
I think they had told me that because I'm originally from El Salvador.
Yeah,
and I had a green card, and that was one thing I was thinking about going to the military to get my green card, but at the end I never did. I mean, to get my citizenship. But at the end, I still didn't get
that guy barely spoke any English too.
Oh, really?
But he made it through. He did it. Yeah, we called him old man. Yeah,
Old man?
Yeah, he was a very, very old guy. But there's
an age card out there.
There is. I think there's like you can waiver almost everything. Like for me, I had screws in my shoulder from a high school injury when I was playing goalkeeper. They had to medically waiver me to get into the military because that's normally a disqualifying factor. But like I said before, I tested so well on my ASVAB. They're like, hey, we got to get this guy in here.
Yeah.
So they waived my medical. So they did an exemption for me. And all my test for that was so weird. Like they had me go to Houston, and in a doctor's office, the doctor was like, hey, can you do push-ups? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, do like 20 of them for me right now. So I did 20 push-ups in front of him. Like my shoulder didn't pop or nothing happened. He's like, yeah, you're good to go, man. Like, I don't know why they're disqualifying you for this. Like you're good.
So you're trying to say I still have a chance to go to the military if I want
Maybe.
to?
Maybe.
I'm 44.
I think there's an age cutoff. I think it's like 35 or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a waiver for it. I don't really know. Like, I think it depends on the job and stuff too, or the branch, or how bad they need people too. Like right now we're not at war, so maybe they're a little bit more strict on standards.
Yeah.
But when
I think you say it depends on the job. If you're gonna be out there at combat, or if you're just gonna be in like office type.
Yeah. If you're doing
setting.
like office stuff, I'm sure like they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? But if you're doing combat stuff, they might be
Yeah.
like, all right, this guy can't carry like I mean, you obviously can. I mean, you go to the
Oh
gym and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I usually
But
go to the gym 5 times a week.
other 44 year old people might not be in the same shape that you're in, and they're not able to like put someone on their back and carry them if they need to. So
Yeah.
those guys are like, yeah, no, you're too old for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for BMT, don't be the guy that like stands out
Yeah.
as much.
The other word I was gonna say, arrogant. That's the word.
Arrogant too, yeah, because you're a team player, right?
Yeah,
So you're developing skills to be in a team, and if you instantly show the people you're trying to be a team with that you're just a cocky, arrogant dude, they're gonna shun you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be on your own. But for your military instructors, I guess your MTIs or whatever they are, the guys that yell at you all the time, they do your little knife hands and stuff in your face, and they're yelling at you and stuff. They're wearing the crazy hats. When those guys, you don't want to stand out a whole lot in front of them, because then they're gonna pick you out of the crowd every single time. They're gonna yell at you. You do one thing in formation, or you misstep in your march or something like that. You're gonna pick you out. They're just gonna chew you up. So don't be that guy that's like stands out, unless that's your personality. Then go ahead and do it. If you can handle it, then great. For me, I just kept my head down low and I did what they told me to do and made it through. It was like a camp basically.
Yeah.
It was like summer camp. It was great.
Not bad. And how long did you go through that again?
Man, I think it was like 6 or 7 weeks
Okay.
for BMT. It's not too bad. And then once you leave BMT, at the last week of BMT, you get your actual orders for people that went open mechanical, open general, or whatever. They will finally find out what their job is. For me, I already knew what it was because I selected it. So then you get your orders to go to your first base. Your first base is actually going to be like your tech school base. For me as a mechanic, it was a tech school. So they start teaching you how to be that engine mechanic, how to go and actually do your job, that you're going to take those skills and go and do it actually operationally for the real Air Force, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, aerospace propulsion engine mechanic, I didn't know what engine I was going to be stationed or selected for yet. So at this time, I didn't know I was going to be the AC-130. I just knew I was going to be a engine mechanic. So it can go all the way from like fighter jets to which are just like normal jet engines, and then you have your turbofan engines, which are like your big cargo planes, or like the ones that you normally see like for people like transporting people, usually like those kind of engines. And then you have your turbofan, which has those big ass propellers on the front of it. And that's where I found out once I was going to tech school. They said, hey, you're going to be H shred, which was my turboprop. I think it was like A, B, and C were like the other fan, or the like turbofans and the other jet engines and stuff. But yeah. I got turboprop, and I remember being disappointed that I got that. I was like, that engine is not very common. I wanted to work on like commercial airliners. I thought was going to be my plan. So I was kind of upset that I got turboprop instead of turbo.
But I imagine you were amazed, like all the technology that was on those motors. No, really.
That's part of the reason why I was upset is because
really?
the turboprop is like it's like 1980s model technology. The AC-130 models that I worked on were old. Like these planes were like falling apart, man.
Oh wow.
So the technology wasn't great. I mean, you're working your engine bay that you're actually working and putting your hands into and stuff like that is so tight. It's not efficient at all for maintenance. And we always made the joke. I mean, you're a car mechanic.
Must have been an engineer.
Yeah, you're a car mechanic. You understand this thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, must have been an engineer that designed this because he didn't prepare for having the mechanic having to go in there and actually fixing everything.
Yep.
And it's a nightmare. That's how our engine was. It was the same way. It's like we're always made fun of the engineers. We're like, man, the engineer designed this. And it is not friendly at all for maintenance. Because I have some pretty big hands, and you're trying to shove it inside of an engine you can barely
middle
move.
hands, little hands. For me, it'd probably be okay.
You're trying to shove it into like a hole that your hand doesn't fit into.
Yeah.
And like if you don't do it, the engine doesn't get fixed.
Yeah.
You're like, oh gosh, dang it, I got to figure this out. So you do. I mean, they teach you ways and like different tactics, but different ways of going about things. Being a critical thinker, right? It kind of teaches them that stuff. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. So that was that was Shepherd Air Force Base was my tech school. That is in Wichita Falls, Texas. So part of another thing I didn't talk about earlier was that I wanted to join the military to travel the world a little bit too. I wanted to get away from kind of Beaumont, Texas, and kind of experience stuff. I didn't get very far at all. I did not. I went to Austin, which was for BMT,
Mhm.
or I think San Antonio. Sorry, San Antonio for BMT. I went to for my tech school. I went to Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls,
Okay.
and then my first base once I completed tech school, which I think was like 13 or 14 weeks, straight to Clovis, New Mexico, which is on the border of Texas and New Mexico. Just barely across the border. Like out, if you go like towards Lubbock and you just kind of keep going down the
Yeah.
highway west, and like you'll hit Clovis. But if you ever go through there, if you ever been to like Colorado or something like that, you've probably driven through it. But it's one of those like drive-through cities that you don't want to stop in. You might stop and get gas, but you're not gonna like stop there and like,
Yeah.
get a hotel or anything like that.
So were you stationed anywhere else or just
Nope.
stayed?
I was there in Clovis, New Mexico forever, which is notoriously Cannon Air Force Base is what the base is called. That base is notoriously one of the worst military bases.
Oh, really?
It's like I think the two runner-ups so the two worst ones in the Air Force at least is Minot and Cannon Air Force Base. And the reason why they're so bad, it's not because the base is bad in general. It's the community is horrible. There's nothing there.
Oh, yeah.
Clovis, New Mexico, like is a rural farmland. Like it's all cattle farmers out there, and maybe some other crops and stuff like that. But there's nothing out there. There's nothing to do there.
Not even the bars?
There's like two bars
Oh.
to go to, and that's it. And you go to those two bars, and it's like the same people everywhere. And you're like the same people you work with. And you're like, dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just seen you at work.
Yeah, and then he's with your other homie's girl or something like that, or his ex girl or something like that. And so it's like you're just like seeing all this stuff, and you're like, dude, I'd rather just drink in my house
Mm-hmm.
or just have my own parties with like my shop or something like that. But it's
Yeah.
like, dude, like this, that city sucked. But the advantage of it, and a lot of people, it gets a lot of bad rap, but it's people that get stuck inside their houses end up hating it.
Mm-hmm.
People that are adventurous and want to actually go and do things, you might have to drive a little ways, but there's fun to be had.
Oh,
Like,
okay. That would be me
it's-
right there.
For me, like I'm a big snowboarder skier, so it's like I would during the wintertime especially, I would go to Colorado, and Angel Fire, New Mexico is right there too. So I mean, there's a lot of things to do. You just have to go. You have to drive a little ways to get it, but you're in the middle of where everything's at.
Yeah.
You're not too far away from Lubbock. You're like an hour and a half away from Lubbock.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you wanted to go to like, I think that's where Texas Tech is at. So if you want to go have a nightlife, like, yeah, you got to drive like an hour and a half there, maybe
Yeah.
get a hotel and then an hour and a half back.
Yeah.
You know, but
So it's like pretty much from here to Houston. Just
yeah,
about.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, so Cannon Air Force Base was my first duty assignment. And that's where I was stationed the whole time for my operational Air Force career. That's when I found out that, hey, you're going to be assigned to the AC-130 gunship. And that's when I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe H-Shred isn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe being turboprop isn't so bad,
Yeah.
because now I'm on a badass plane that actually gets shit done. It's a kinetic plane, right? It fucking kills people. That's when I was like, holy shit.
What do you mean that
that's
kinetic?
cool.
Like,
Kinetic, like meaning like you're dropping like ordnance on the ground. Kinetic, like your other ones, I'd say like more passive, right? Or
Yeah.
your cargo planes. They're transporting cargo around
Yeah.
everywhere. Mine is kinetic. Like mine's actually shooting
Oh,
and
okay.
doing things, right? Mine, it just circles ahead and just fires, and it fires down at the ground. It has a 105 millimeter howitzer cannon on the side, which for perspective is a main battle tank, like an M1A1 Abrams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has a 105 millimeter. They put that on a fucking plane and said, hey, we're going to shoot this at the ground instead of it just driving on the ground. When I put it on a plane and just fire
Yeah.
it from the sky.
Like, how big is the bullet? Like,
It's a 105 millimeter. So I mean, you're looking at like, I can send you some pictures later, and you
Okay.
can put them in like
Okay.
in the
but for reference, it's probably like that long.
well, the round itself is probably like this, sitting up this tall maybe,
Uh-huh.
and it's like maybe like that fat around.
Oh shit.
That's the cannon.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the other one is a 30 millimeter. I think it's like a Gatling or like it's like an auto cannon basically.
Mhm.
But it's a 30 millimeter, so it's like your rounds are like maybe that big, and maybe like that big around, not too big.
Yeah.
But dude, I'll tell you what, those things are so fucking accurate. They are deadly, man. They're super accurate. So yeah, I went on while I was operational. I went on 3 different deployments. 3 of them were to Iraq. So we were stationed at Al Assad Air Base, which is, I think it's northwest of Baghdad. We got attacked all the fucking time. There was like, I guess the local guys that were like terrorists, I guess we'd call them, or insurgents. They would test the base defense system all the time. Like they would put a drone. They would get a drone, like a little normal quadcopter.
They had their little drones too.
Yeah, so they would, like from Temu. I'm sure they bought Temu or whatever. They were getting them from Iran. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Which Iran would probably deny it, but they were getting them from Iran. But they were getting these little small quadcopters, and they were attached like grenades to it. And so what they would do, they fly it. They would test it, the air defense, to see how high or how big the bubble was. Imagine like a bubble being around a building or around the whole base. That's what our basis system was. So they would fly it at different heights, different elevations, and try to figure out, okay, when do the C-rams, which were the base defense things that like shoot like all the little small, little like, it's like BB pellets almost, but it's like flak almost too. They would shoot it, and it shoots down like missiles and all kinds of stuff, like mortars and stuff that are coming into the base. It's supposed to shoot it out of the sky before it actually hits.
Yeah.
So, but there's at some point there's like a range, right, to where it doesn't work. It can't detect things. So what they do, they would test that to see what's that range. So they would fly drones up in the sky, and then they would drop a grenade down, like an impact grenade or something. They would just drop it from the sky, and then randomly you just hear like an explosion that just happened down the road or something like that from where you're working. And they're like all the base sirens going off, like, oh, attack imminent, like seek shelter now, and all kinds of stuff like that. So we had to deal with that a lot. And then one of my deployments, we also got attacked with a rocket truck. I think it had like 8 or 12 rockets on it.
Oh wow!
They like just shot them all over the base. They didn't hit anything. They can't shoot for shit, but they tried. They tried to blow up a bunch of stuff. I have some videos of that stuff too. I can send you that.
Okay,
it's pretty dope. Kind of scary too, though, looking at it. I mean, because the base system works well, but I mean, it's not perfect, right? Things still get through it, and some of the missiles hit the ground close to where we work. Like they hit a corner of our building. That's like reinforced concrete building. They hit the corner of it. That's where like all of our pilots were sleeping for our planes and stuff. It didn't do it didn't hurt anybody. I think one dude that was like sleeping in that corner like room, he got like blown out of his bunk bed, I think, and he like hit the ground, I think, and like hurt his elbow or something, but he was fine. I have a video of that, of when it hit the building. And then there's another guy he was taking a shit inside the latrine. There's like a little trailer, right, that has like bathrooms in it. Yeah. The guy was taking a shit when all the missiles started.
The worst time.
From the sky, dude, the worst time ever. And there's a video of him leaving the bathroom, and he's like running back into the hardened shelter. And then like one of the missiles, it's super unfortunate. I'm sure he probably shit himself twice that day. But the missile landed on top of the building that he was running into, that he was trying to seek shelter to. And luckily it didn't hurt him at all. He didn't get hurt. But he was outside when it happened, and the missile hit. And then he gets thrown to the ground, and then it's like all the shrapnel just starts like falling on top of him and stuff, but he never got hurt. But yeah, can you imagine being that guy? Like you're in there taking a shit, and then the missile comes. You're like, oh god, I gotta get out of the toilet. And he probably didn't even wipe or anything. Just like,
I wouldn't. Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I don't blame him. But
yeah,
luckily he didn't. Nothing happened to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that was my that was my third deployment to Iraq. So I deployed in 2018. That was 2 years after I joined the military. So I think I had finished all of my training stuff. So I was like, I knew how to do my job. I was good at it and stuff. But once you get, so for our base, they send the best people in the shop. Is what they try to do. And you're on a rotation with other people too. So for us, we would deploy anywhere from like 4 to 6 months out of the year, right? And what that looks like is like it's 12-hour shifts every single day with 0 days off. Okay. For that entire time, for at least for aircraft maintenance, that's how it was. So sorry. We would rotate out with other people in the shop, but you got to be good. They don't just send like people that don't know how to do jobs out to like real world stuff. Yeah. Because our plane, you have to be good with it, and it has to be fixed at all times in order for it to go out and actually do its missions that it needed to do. Because our plane was part of Air Force Special Operations, right? So any like Navy SEALs or the D-Boys, Delta team, or sorry, yeah, is it Delta Force? Whatever it is, the D boys. Those guys, whenever they called in for close air support, because we were JSOC, was who the same command that they were tied to, the Navy SEALs and stuff like that. Our plane was a part of that. We were an air support asset for them. So whenever they called in for close air support, our plane went and provided that air support for them. So our plane had to be ready at all times for them to be able to make that mission. So in order for that to happen, you got to have your best mechanics going out there with the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was fun. It was a good experience. All 3 deployments. I look back on it a lot, and I'm trying to cherish like the memories that I had with a lot of those people.
Yeah.
That was my 3rd deployment when those missiles went off.
Are a lot of them still doing it, or they moved on?
So I was a big advocate, and I wasn't supposed to be, because whenever I left the military, I left as a staff sergeant. So I was an E5, and as an NCO, non-commissioned officer, is what I was. It's like junior level non-commissioned officers, basically. It's like the very first rank of commissioned officers or non-commissioned officers. So staff sergeant. As an NCO, you're supposed to tell people to stay in for attrition, basically, just to keep people in the military. You're supposed to be that advocate for them to stay in. I was the opposite of that. I was like, dude, go to school and get the fuck out of here. Like, you don't get paid enough for it. Like, the maintenance job that you're doing, you can get out of the military and make 3 times the amount of money than what I was doing as a mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Work on these engines.
Especially for the planes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I would tell people that. I was like, hey, go back to school, go get your certification. So there's a certification you can get as an aircraft mechanic. And I highly recommend anyone that goes this route to go ahead and get this certification if you want to stay in aircraft maintenance. The certification is airframe and power plant certification. And I think you have to pay for it out of pocket or something. Or maybe the Air Force might be able to pay for it. As you're going to school and getting your CCAF, which is your community college of the Air Force degree. So you can get that degree as well as that certification. And what that certification says essentially is that, hey, this guy understands the airframe that he's working on. For us, it was the C-130 airframe, as well as he understands everything about it, like all the hydraulic systems, all the electrical systems, the engine system, and I think it's like the bleed air and all that kind of stuff like that, like all of the controls and all that. You understand the whole plane. And if you have that certification, you can then more easily go get a job outside of the military. You can go work for like Boeing or something like that, or Southwest Airlines, or all those airliner companies. You could easily transition that degree over. So I was a big advocate for people like, hey, go get that certification and then get out of the military.
Yeah.
So some people take that advice.
Yeah, it depends on the person too. They might want to just stay in the military.
Some people, the pension's good, man.
Yeah.
If you stay in, do your full 20 years, the pension's good. And then, I'm sure you're getting hurt and stuff like that. We can talk a little bit about it later, but like if you get hurt, then you're able to file like disability claims with the VA, which will give you a tax-free paycheck too for your disabilities. So you can get a pension on top of VA disability claims, as well as, depending on what your disabilities are, you can also go get a job as well as being able to collect all that stuff. Okay. So you can retire from the military. Say you go in at 20 years old, which is what I went in at 20. You can do your 20 years, get out at 40. You retire from the Air Force at 40 years old. You get your Air Force pension. You can then start collecting VA disability, depending on if you have disabilities or from injuries that you incurred across the 20 years that you spent in, as well as go and get another job, so that you can really do really well for yourself if you time everything right. And I wanted to make sure that people understood that. So if you stayed in, you're opening a lot of doors for yourself too. But depending on what industry you're trying to go into, like if you're trying to go in the petrochemical industry and trying to get a job at 40 years old, it might be a little bit harder compared to your younger competition that you'd be competing against. Yeah. But you have if you're military, right, you can get some not certifications, but you can get some qualifications for that. And some employers want to hire, veterans. So it makes them look good. I think they get like a tax cut or something like that too. I'm not sure.
A little incentive.
A little incentive for them, like a little icing on the cake. But Yeah, a lot of people, equal opportunity employers, everyone has to be in the United States. So they have to hire like a certain amount of veterans and stuff. And usually a lot of companies are like USA, right? They want to hire
They should,
veterans.
you know.
They better be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So were you stuck there like during COVID?
Yeah. So my second deployment is when COVID happened. So 2018 is when I deployed, 2020, and then again in that's not right. 18, 21, and then 22. So COVID was
2020, was it?
Was it 2020?
Yeah.
No, so I was deployed. Yeah, so it was 2018 is when I deployed, and then it was 2020, and then it was 2021 is when I deployed, because I officially separated from the military in 2022. So my second deployment is 2020, summer of 2020. That's when COVID really hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were not promoting it, but it's like letting people be aware of it.
That was when the lockdowns and stuff started happening.
Yeah, I remember that time because I remember the beginning of the year, my job had sent me to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was right before, so I was able to do all the tourist stuff, just go hike, and just seeing all kinds of stuff. But then the next thing I know, a few months later,
you can't come in here.
Can't come in.
Yeah. For us, it was very early on in COVID, and where our government didn't know what to do. Like Trump, I think it was Trump at the time. It was like, hey, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not a big deal, right? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I think it was 2020, right? Was it 2020 that Trump was still in office?
Yeah. 2020. I think that's what it was election year.
It might have been Biden. I don't know.
No. The 2020. It was the election year.
Yeah. So he was still. If he was still president, I think it was still under him, I believe.
Yeah.
But he was saying that like everything's fine. It's like the China virus is what he kept calling it.
China virus, yeah.
And he didn't really take it as seriously as some people wanted him to take it. But then there was a lot of pressure on him, like, hey, you got to take this seriously. Like it's spreading everywhere. Yeah. People have to quarantine. And he's like, okay. He finally
because
caved in.
You got to listen to the experts.
You got to listen to him. But so he caved in, and then he's like started telling people, like, all right, you guys. He started listening. I guess it was like the CDC or whoever it was. It was like, hey, people got to start quarantining. And
I think most people were down for it. Like, okay, like the first 2 weeks being locked down. Let's see what happens. Which I can 100% understand. Hey, let's see if this helps out and whatever. But eventually, we found out that it's like.
I was like, now we look at it, we're like, what? That was nothing.
That was nothing, yeah. And it's like, okay, well, and then they were doing all these testing, against all these positive tests, and then somehow the flu went away. A couple of years.
COVID really sucked being part of the military because no one knew they didn't know how to handle it well at the start, and then the government, being government, went full government and decided to do the stupidest things ever. When it came to like COVID guidelines.
Yeah. They pretty much was doing the same thing what China was doing. It's like, why are we going to do the same thing China is doing?
Yeah. Like they wanted us to like get bleach squirt bottles and start spraying like our computers and keyboards and stuff down. We're like, you want to put a liquid on our electronics?
Yeah.
But that was like one of the things they were like asking us to do. Like it was like really dumb stuff.
Yeah. I remember that one job I was working at in Birmingham. If we had a COVID case, then they would say they called in a special cleaning crew or whatever to clean up or whatever, and some of the workers they say they will pass by to see if they have people actually cleaning and stuff. Yeah. And then they were protesting. They weren't cleaning. They're just trying to make us work here during this time.
It's like it reminds me of that Monsters Inc. movie because now with kids right now I'm watching all these Disney movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of that Monsters Inc. movie where that guy's like 2319 and then they all like start kicking in doors and windows and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's like that. How you're describing that kind of makes it seem like they bring in this cleaning crew and stuff and start isolating the incident basically. Yeah. But it was so dumb how they handled COVID. But one of the things is like no questions asked. If you had told someone that you were around someone that tested positive for COVID, instantly get 2 weeks off. No one questioned it. Yeah. They're like, hey, that guy just popped positive. The guy that works in this shop, he's like an electrical guy that works on our planes. He had a party and one of the guys popped positive. Everyone that went to that party now gets 2 weeks off. No questions asked. Yep. Don't take any tests to even confirm if it's true. They just like, hey, you were around someone that tested positive, you get 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And what sucked for me, I never once got sick. I never really left my house either during COVID because like I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
But I wanted to once everyone started getting off, and I was the only guy there.
Yeah,
I was the only guy at work.
I want to say I was. I got COVID before it was cool to get COVID, but I can't. Literally, I remember because like I usually don't get sick. You know what I mean? Literally, but in 2019 in December, I came down with something and it hit me kind of hard. Like not where I was sick or anything like that, but I just felt weak and drained, like my body, you know. And I was like, man, what's this? This is weird. And I remember I came visit over here from Birmingham, and I was staying with I was around my mom and my son.
Yeah.
But then I noticed when I was feeling like that, they didn't get like that. So I was like, that's weird. But now I'm thinking, you know what? I think that was COVID, what I got. And if they were around me, they didn't get sick.
You never tested to see if it was positive or not?
Well, that's before.
It was before all the tests and stuff.
Before everything came up, yeah.
It could have been, man. It very well could have been. I mean, that stuff was spreading like wildfire.
Yeah.
It seemed
I think I know it is because I when I did actually finally get it, I felt almost the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yep, that's how I know.
I had it.
Yeah.
I never once got it, but my whole shop got taken out by it. And I don't know if people were just trying to take advantage of the system, and you easily could have, because I said, they weren't testing people. They just said, hey, you were around. If you texted your supervisor and said, hey, I was around this guy that got sick who did confirm test positive, you instantly get 2 weeks off. So for me, I was a senior airman, E4 Mafia out there for everyone out there. So
Mafia.
E4 Mafia is like the guys that get stuck at that rank just below. Like they're probably the most qualified people to work. They're essentially running the Air Force, right? E4 Mafia is like your low rank enlisted guys. Everyone gets stuck at that rank because you have to start taking a test for your next rank. So to promote up to staff sergeant, you have to take a test, and the test, they like test you over Air Force history, test you over your job, your comprehension of your job basically as well. So you have to be good at your job, and you have to know Air Force history and stuff as well. You take a test on that. If you pass that, and if your unit also puts you in for an award, right? There's like a grading scale. They call it Enlisted Performance Report, EPR. And they would rate you based off of a 0 to a 5% on a scale on how they felt if you needed to be promoted or not. 5 being like, yeah, promote this guy now, right? And then 0 being like, yeah, this guy, do not fucking promote this guy at all. So E4 is where that starts. So a lot of people get stuck at E4. But E4s know what the fuck they're doing. Like these guys are the guys that are the guys running the shops essentially. Because like the guys that are actually running the shops are like too busy doing computer stuff. They're not doing maintenance. They're doing computer stuff. Yeah. Your E4 guys are the guys fixing shit. So I was an E4 at that time when COVID happened. And I was the guy literally fixing everything on these planes. Like I think we had like 6 or 8 planes at the time. I can't remember. Now they're all decommissioned. They decommissioned the plane I was working on. So I worked on the AC-130 W. The Spectre was what it was. It was nicknamed as the Spectre. Now it got replaced by the AC-130J model, which is I think it's the Jackal. I think is what they call it. But that's the new one. It's like it's got all the bells and whistles, like a lot more electronic stuff on it.
Yeah. When they decommission a airplane, does it just go to a airfield and just die away?
Basically, yeah. There's a
they use the parts. Well, not use the parts, but like
they will try to scavenge as much as they possibly can out of it. But they got to leave enough stuff in the plane to where it can go to that airfield. I think it's in Arizona or something like that. I can't remember what the airfield's called, but it's the boneyard essentially is what it is. But yeah, they do exactly that. They'll fly. You have to keep the minimum stuff for that plane to fly and land there. And then once it's land there, they like rip all the other shit out of it. But yeah,
so it's just pretty much a shell out there.
It's pretty much a shell. Yeah. I mean, you always could fix them up if you ever got to a point where you needed to. That's why the boneyard's there. But for the most part, it's like a scrapyard. If you cannot order a part or find a part, the very last resort is before they start asking companies to like reverse engineer shit, they'll go to like the boneyard and see if they can pull it from another plane or something like that.
So like a car junkyard,
basically. Much. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. But yeah, COVID sucked, man. It was just me running the shop. I was an E4 running my entire shop because everyone else was sick. Yeah. So and I mean, what that looks like is when the plane. What they should have done was said, hey, to the pilots. It was like, hey, we're not flying these fucking planes until everyone comes back and they're healthy. from like a 2-week quarantine. Let's have the planes take a 2-week quarantine as well.
Mm-hmm.
They did not do that. They're like, we're going to fly these planes and do this bullshit training missions and stuff like that all the time. The stupidest thing in the world. So they stayed operational. Meanwhile, like personnel became a problem. Like it wasn't just enlisted guys. It was like officers, your pilots and stuff like that were also getting sick.
Yeah.
So we got put on 12-hour shifts. I was the one guy that never got sick, running my shop as an E4. So when the plane came down from flying, I had to go in there and debrief the plane. And that's when like the officers go in there and they start talking about like all the problems that happened while they were flying the plane. I was the guy doing all that stuff. So I had to go out there. I had to listen to them tell me what the problems were. I had to troubleshoot it. And then I had to go out into where the plane was parked at in the airfield and fix it with my team, with like 2 other guys that never got sick either, all on 12-hour shifts and stuff like that. And then I would come back into I would go home. I worked nights, so I'd sleep during the day, come back on night. Nothing got done. It all got transferred back over to me. And I was like, fuck, like what? Like it's literally just me and my 2 guys here.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, COVID sucked. And then I deployed. We got put in like a concentration camp. Cause like I said, they didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
The country that we were going to, Iraq, was like, hey, these guys have to be quarantined. Well, you can't tell a bunch of, airmen basically like, hey, you guys have to stay at your house. They're gonna fucking leave their house, right?
Yeah.
So how do you control that? So what they did is they literally built a compound on our military installation that was fenced off and all kinds of stuff like that. It was literally a concentration camp on our military base, and we had to live there for 2 weeks before we hopped on a plane and went to Iraq.
Yeah, a lot of places were like that. Huh? If you went to a different country, you had to quarantine for a few days.
Yeah. But you couldn't do it at your house. You had to do it. I had to do it in this like camp.
Yeah.
It was the stupidest thing in the world. But I mean, I don't know. For me, I was like, I would have been fine staying in my house. But yeah, I know there's some other people that probably wouldn't have listened to the rules and stuff like that and gotten sick and then gotten the whole team sick. Because at that point, whenever you're about to deploy, that team is locked in, right? It's hard to swap people out. So it makes sense why they kind of did it, but it just sucked actually experiencing that.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened when we came back. But we got stuck out there, which sucked again, because like I said, no one knew what to do. Planes were not giving us the amount of supplies that we needed for like meals and stuff. So we were like eating MREs while we were deployed, eating like curry and shit. It was fucking gross. But yeah, we got stuck out there for a little while because they didn't know. They couldn't send a plane out there to come get us because what did they have to do? They had to quarantine for 2 weeks to come get us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were waiting. We were just waiting for someone to come get us out there, man. So we got stuck. Meanwhile, we're all getting attacked by grenades and stuff falling from the fucking sky and shit. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
That was my second deployment.
Yeah. But you're not doing that no more, huh? You're
No,
a civilian
fuck that.
now, huh?
No, I left. So I transitioned from the military after 6 years. I never really took a whole lot of time off of work while I was there. So I accrued a lot of user lose days. And the good thing that did come out of COVID was that you're limited to a maximum of 30 days of user lose. It's like, imagine pay time off days, essentially. And what it is, so you accrue 30 days of pay time off. Well, you can accrue another 30 days up to 60 days, but those are called user lose days. So the additional 30 days, so you're anywhere from 30 to 60 days that you have saved up. If you don't use them within that year, they don't roll over into the next year. But the first 1 through 30 days do. Those ones will roll over. What you can do whenever you're separating from the military, though, is you can either use those to get out earlier from your contracted end date, or you can sell them back to the government and they tax the shit out of it. So you might as well just like use it, right?
Yeah.
So what I did during COVID, they doubled that window, so you could save up to 60 days, right? And then you can go all the way up to 120. And if you don't use that 60 to 120 days, then you lose them, right? So it's called user lose. So what I did, I had so many days saved up that I was able to leave the military 4 months early and still collect the paycheck because it's paid time off, right? Yeah. So I was able to collect the paycheck, and I used that window to find another job whenever I transitioned from the military, which is the best decision that I could have ever made because it gave me 4 months to find another job, another paycheck. If I found a job early enough, I was able to collect 2 paychecks, which is what I did. If you can't, and then you're struggling to find a job, then you at least have a 4-month window where you're getting a paycheck and you can still actively go try to find one, right? Or go and get whatever certification you need to go get a job. So luckily I didn't have to look too hard for another job. So I was able to roll into the position that I'm in now pretty easily. So it was a smooth transition, but I deployed just before I got out. So that's my last deployment. We had left Iraq. We were helping out. We picked up all of our shit that was in Iraq that we had always been there for a long time. The locals hated the gunships being there because it was a weapon, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking like plane that has guns on it. They didn't like it there. And Iran didn't like us having it there, and our enemies don't like us even having the plane in general. So they didn't want it being stationed in Iraq. Well, it made a lot of political tensions and stuff like that with Iran and Iraq and everyone.
Yeah.
We were literally storing the plane that's killing them, right? They didn't like it. So eventually we pulled our planes out of there and we moved to Al Dhafra, which is in Abu Dhabi, UAE, right next to Dubai, is where we moved all of our stuff to.
Okay.
So we were flying out of there and going to Iraq. So our plane would fly over the water, right? And then we would circle over that Kabul airport where we pulled out of. I will say this, my third deployment is like the moment when I had got an award there when I was on that last deployment. And I had never, all of the maintenance that I'm doing, right? So I'm fixing these planes, they're going out, they're doing their missions, they're killing the bad guys, right? But I never had that feeling in my soul. I was like, man, I'm doing like a really good job. What I'm doing is actually meaningful to the rest of the world. But that last deployment, I finally had that moment. I was like, holy crap, like what my actions that I actually did directly saved lives. And that was when I was like, holy crap, maybe I want to stay in the military. But I was like, it goes against my plan.
Yeah.
It goes against my plan.
Stay in the plan.
Stay on the plan. That was the whole goal. But I fixed, there was a like an electronic warfare plane. And when you go inside of it too, so when you go inside our plane, you see the weapon systems, right? You have your big gun in the back, you have your smaller gun in the front, but it takes up the whole fucking plane on the inside. This other plane that I fixed, that it was the same body style as my plane. So it was a C-130, but its mission was completely different. I can't remember what it's called now, but when I walked inside of it, it looked like a LAN party for like that back in the Xbox days when you're doing like Halo LAN parties. It looked like that inside the plane. Like there's like rows of computers all over the place. It's like they were playing like World of Warcraft or something like that inside the plane. It was interesting, but it had a unique purpose for that plane. And the purpose is that it was to block out all like cell signals or radio frequencies, all like frequencies basically. So you lose cellular service, you lose Bluetooth capability, you lose radio, you lose Wi-Fi, you lose everything. And what it does, it shoots a cone down over like the space that it's flying in, and it blocks it all out. It blacks it out.
For how long?
Electrically, however long they have it engaged. I think I'm not sure the specifics of it, but it was used for the Kabul airport so that we can get our planes out of there safely.
Okay.
Because what was all around Kabul airport, the fucking Taliban, right? They still hated us. I'm sure they still do. But there was a moment where they wanted to have one last fuck you to America. They were like, our last plane was about to take off there. Anyway, before I get to that, so the plane that I was talking about looks like a LAN party on the inside of it. Its propeller, something was wrong with like the propeller. It didn't function right. The plane couldn't fly. It couldn't make the distance, right? So all the way to where it needed to be in Afghanistan. So it's the only one that can have that mission to go. So the commander for that plane reached out to our commander and was like, hey, we need mechanic support for this plane. And of course they got me to go over there and look at it. And I was like, yeah, we got to change this propeller on this plane. It's fucked. It's like leaking hydraulic fluid all over the place. We fixed it that night and it was able to make its mission the next day. And that was the very last day that we were pulling out of Kabul airport. And I didn't know at the time what the mission was for that plane. I had no idea until like a week after the commander for that plane came over to our commander, and they both came and found me. I was like, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, what'd I do?
I was like, this plane fucking crashed somewhere, and I'm about to go to like Leavenworth or something like that. I was like, dude, I'm fucked. But I mean, I was good at my job. I was confident that nothing happened. I mean, we did all of our function checks. Everything was good. But I was like, man, 2 commanders coming to see me. Like, this is bad. They said, hey, we need you to come out to the flight line real quick. Bring the airman that helped you. Because I was a staff sergeant at this time, right? So I was like leading my shift. I was a shift lead, right? So I had an airman with me, and my commander and my senior NCO, my master sergeant that was above me, and my commander, that commander, him, me, and my airman all go out to the flight line where this plane was. He's like, hey, he's like, I want you to be aware of what happened to this plane. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And they're like, you just saved like thousands, probably not, I wouldn't say thousands, but hundreds of lives with this one plane. Because when that plane was the very last, I think it was the last C-17 or something like that, was about to take off, it was supposed to get shot down that day. And I don't even know if the rest of the world, I honestly don't even know if I can talk about it.
Probably.
But
that's why you don't hear those good wins, you know.
No, you don't see this kind of shit on the
Yeah.
news. And that's when I was like, holy crap, like this was huge. But yeah, that something was supposed to happen to that last plane when it took off from the airfield that day. It wasn't supposed to fly. It was able to fly because that plane was there. It intercepted a radio trans like signal, I guess, telling someone to go do something to that plane before it left that airfield that day.
Okay.
And that person that was supposed to do something to that plane did never receive that call because that plane was there that day. And when they told me that, I was like, holy crap. I was like, I just saved like hundreds of lives or I didn't directly, but because I fixed that plane and I did what I needed to do, that plane was able to go do its mission that day. And it was huge. It was like, and a really good attaboy, you know, like, hey, you did your job really well. Thank you for doing that. And they gave me like an Air Force coin, which is from the commanders, like a commander's coin. It was like, it actually had a number. They give out a certain number of coins each year, and it was like numbered. So this was like a rare coin. Yeah. It's kind of weird with military traditions when it comes to stuff like that. So like, there's like, some people collect coins. In aircraft maintenance, we collected patches, like military patches and stuff from like other units and stuff like that too, right? So so I had a huge collection of patches. I didn't care so much for the coins, but I did hang on to that coin. It was pretty cool. So yeah, that was my last deployment. Then we left Aldofra and came back, and I had 1 month to out process from the military because I was officially leaving the military after that. And I came back and they said, hey, guess what you got to get now? Got to get the COVID shot. I was like, dude, I'm about to get out in 1 month. I don't need it. And they said, too bad. So I got the COVID shot.
Oh man. Luckily, I didn't have to get it.
I didn't want it.
Yeah,
I didn't want it. It was so stupid how it went about because I don't even know. Like they'll probably never admit to doing this, the military or the government.
Yeah. But
my base wanted to be the very first Air Force base that had 100% compliance.
That's all that was. They want to be
They wanted to be the first.
Yeah.
Everyone always wants to be the first at everything.
Yeah.
Well, my base commander wanted to be the very first Air Force base that was 100% vaccinated. And this was in Biden's time and stuff like that too. And I don't, whatever. But so what they did, they gave us the shot, and mine was like the one that you had to do. You had to do the original, and then you had to go back and do a booster shot after 30 days. You had to go back and do a booster shot, or so many days after you had to go back and get the booster.
Didn't they have like at the end like 4 or 5 booster shots or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was the Moderna though that did that.
I don't even know.
Anyway, that's the one I got, and so there was a mandated amount of days that you had to wait before you got the second booster shot. My base was like, fuck that. You're going to get the booster shot like a week later. Like nothing that supported that was even safe to do. And they said, you're just going to get the second booster shot. And I was like, get me the fuck out of here now. Like you guys are like violating all kinds of rights.
Yeah, no.
But I told them no. And they said, well, you know, all that you're going to get out of the military. I'm leaving anyways. Like, well, you're going to leave on bad terms and stuff like that. I was like, you're going to get like a dishonorable discharge. And that's like one of the things you don't want to do because it makes it really hard to be employable afterwards when you get dishonorable discharge. They threatened me with that. And I was like, you know what? I have 1 month left. Let me just get it done and over with. And maybe I'll see one of those infomercial shows whenever I'm like 60 years old. It's like, did you get the coronavirus vaccine? Call this number now, and you might be eligible for some compensation or whatever. I'm sure I'll probably see one of those infomercials way later in the future, but
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
it's documented though. So, I mean, VA will take care of me on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an interesting career, man.
Yeah. Shit, I'm glad you made it out alive. You know what I mean? Nothing happened to you.
Me
It's so
too.
good.
Me too. But the base I was stationed at too, that we went to for deployments, it was Al Assad, right? So that's what it was. I don't know if you remember the news, but I think it was like in 2020 was when Iran, Trump had just sent like a missile over there into Iran and killed one of their generals, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And their retaliation was to send ballistic missiles into Iraq and hit 2 military installations, Al Assad being one, and the other one was what was it? Adid. The other one was Adid, I think, was the other Iraq base. I could be a little bit wrong on that. I might have to.
Were they able to hit?
They did. They hit both of them. They didn't hurt anybody. Well, they hurt some people, but they didn't kill anybody. I was not there, thank God. It was the rotation that went after me. So the other guys were there. They just like stayed in a bunker the whole time. The Iraq locals, I guess the Iraq government knew that it was coming because Iran coordinated with them and said, hey, this is what's about to happen. We're about to send missiles into your country, right? And to target the U.S. We're not going after you, going after the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Iraq government that we had been coordinating with was like, hey, they're about to do this. Like they told us uphand that it was going to happen. So we took the proper precautions of it, which was good that they even told us that because it could have been a very bad day.
Yeah. I don't know. I believe that a lot of things are kind of like already talked about before something goes forward. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest thing is like, we knew there was probably going to be a reaction, and we even like it's all. I'm sure it's probably there's conspiracies on it, but I'm sure it's all
like I'm sure like when they sent the B-2 bomber, was it to go?
to get that the nuclear facility or whatever they had in Iran. Yeah.
So I think they got a heads up. Hey, we're gonna do this. Just to let you know, take your people out.
Well, I think I think he openly told them. I think Trump openly told them like, hey, we're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Yeah, we have a lot of capabilities to be able to do shit. I mean, look at the stuff that happened in Venezuela recently. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, I think that he knew that they were coming.
Oh, I think so too. I mean,
so.
Even then, like he warned them.
Yeah,
he was like, "Hey man, we're gonna come fucking get you," and he sure as shit did. That guy's got a big old set of nuts, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give him props for that. If he says he's gonna do majority of things, honestly, I'm not gonna say he's done everything he said he was gonna do, but a lot of things he has done.
Yeah, I think there's sometimes there might be even a better way to do things, but he's proven to be a man of his word, I guess. Being able to do things. I think there's better ways to do stuff.
Yeah, and that's that probably he's from New York, huh? So there must be that New York personality too.
Yeah, maybe.
And going through that business, in order to get up that high, you gotta be dog eat dog,
Yeah, but getting out of the military, man, we started engaging with the Veterans Hospital, the VA and stuff. That's been a process. I will say to anyone out there, my recommendation there is if you go into the military and you go operational, active duty, reserve, guard, anything, document everything. Document all of your historical, like all of your medical stuff.
Yeah.
If you get hurt while you're at your job, doing your job, document it. Even if it's small, like I sprained my ankle at work, I jumped out of this vehicle or something, I did this at work, pulled my back lifting up something that I was told to lift up by my command. Document it. Even if it doesn't cause you problems now or then, just tell your flight doctor, tell your doctor, like, hey, this happened at work. I just want to make sure it's documented, because you might not be feeling pain now, but 20, 30, 40 years in the future, you very well could be. Yeah. And if you don't have it documented, it's going to be so hard for you to fight and get compensation for that pain that you, from that injury that you had while you're in your military service. Because you have to prove your military connection status to your injury, to your time in the military. Yeah. If you can't prove that, they will deny it. Okay. That's the biggest thing. So my biggest piece of advice is just document things. Yeah. Even if you don't think it's going to be beneficial at all, it very well could be in the future. One of the big things for me is like the burn pits. I don't know if you saw. Yeah, the burn pits. So what they would do in Iraq, They would take all the trash, like all the sewage, like everything. They would incinerate it all. So like they don't have all like the same government standards that we have here when it comes to like burning stuff. You can do it all over there. Like who cares? If you have like, you're not supposed to. I mean, like if you had like a bucket full of oil, just dump it in the sand. Like OSHA's not over there.
Yeah.
They're in the United States. Do whatever the fuck you want over there. So what they were doing was burning, incinerating everything that's on the base that we were living on, sleeping on, just breathing all the air on, right?
Oh,
so
they probably didn't have no trash person to come pick up the trash.
No, we don't have garbage men over there, surprisingly. So they would just burn everything, and then I think Biden actually pushed for it, which was good. They did some like burn pit stuff, made it to where if you lived on a base or you were at a base that had one of those burn pits and it causes like upper respiratory issues because of it, you're entitled to compensation for it.
Okay.
So that was all documented. I made sure that the VA knew that I was in Al Assad where they had that incinerator. So all that's I'm not getting compensation for that now, but it's documented to where like I get 60 years old and it's hard for me to breathe.
Yeah.
Probably because of carcinogens in that trash they were burning. I can tie it back to that, and get compensated for it. So.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in like in 5 years?
5 years from now?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Probably just doing what I'm doing now. I mean, I might be in like an elevated position from where I'm currently at. I'm an account manager now. I might be doing something a little bit higher management status there, but just being a dad, man. Yeah. Like it's so much fun being
not
a dad.
Back at military, huh?
No, unless they call me back. But I'm turning 31 this year. So
you're still young, man. Oh my God.
Some point, they're gonna be like, yeah, this guy's too old. Yeah. But I all my certifications are probably all expired now. Not that I couldn't relearn them and stuff. I've learned it all once. I could do it again if they ever called me back. But
that's a big problem if they call you back. You know what I mean? Yeah. There had to be something wrong.
I think for drafting, I think we're like one of the first people that they call back or that they reach out to for it. I don't know if they would force it though. They might force it. I'm not sure. They might say, "Hey, you did your time."
I'm guessing if it gets too bad, that's where it is bad.
I haven't looked into it, but I mean, if it's like another 9/11 that happens, I would probably want to go back. You know what I mean? Like, I was super proud of the military and stuff. It's a part of me now. I would go back if something big happened that required me to go back because they needed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they retired my plane, so the plane that I worked on,
none of them are functional anymore?
I think they're all gone. If they're still around, there might be like a training plane used. They kind of hang on to some of the older planes to use as training birds.
Yeah.
So that pilots can learn like the weapon systems on other stuff without having to break the new stuff. You know what I mean? So they can break the old stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that they did get rid of all of them. I even saw an article recently that they even closed down Al-Assad, the bases in Iraq. They closed down Al-Assad. I think we pulled out officially from there now. And I think there's the other base. I think it's Adid is the other one. I think they're about to pull out of that one too. I think we're about to be done with it.
Yeah. Since like their planes, all the guys there, the mechanics, they knew all the planes in and out, right? Do you think if once you guys know that plane is all of them decommissioned, do you guys feel like a certain way?
I think we get sad a little bit just because like that's like your babies, man.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
You literally probably have blood stains on those planes, right, from punching panels or like I said, you're trying to work in those tight spaces and stuff like that on the old planes that just are not friendly to that. So you got some bloody knuckles trying to turn wrenches and stuff in those tight spots. But yeah, blood, sweat, and tears on those planes, and I think you kind of get a little sad, but the new stuff's cool too. So I mean, it's like the same stuff. The systems for the most part are kind of the same. It's just more electronics in it. Makes it look a little bit cool. I'm sure it's more expensive too. Yeah.
Just like my new truck right here, I got Toyota Tundra, right?
Yeah.
They even made doesn't even have a mechanical emergency brake no more. It's electronic. Even the tailgate, just to open it, it's electronic. Like, man.
The Tundras are nice though.
Yeah, it's nice, but just little simple things like that, you will want to have it to be manual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's I'm sure those guys that are probably still in. I do have friends that are still in. So you can change your job in the military too. After your first enlistment, I think you can go, or maybe even after 2 years while you're doing your job. if you don't like it, you're not locked into it. You can always cross train into
Oh,
something
okay,
different.
that's nice.
I think there's steps for it, and I'm not sure what those steps are because I never did it. But you can change your job. But yeah, I was an engine troop. I was proud to be one. We had a saying. It's called motherfucking engines, MFE.
Oh yeah.
So we had patches that we would collect, right, and wear that said MFE on it. But if a commander ever asks us what does MFE stand for, you say it's maintenance friendly engines. Sir.
Yeah, there
it's
you go.
not motherfucking engines.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's motherfucking engines. But yeah, we were MFE proud. All of a shop. I mean, I had really good supervisors too while I was in the military. I had one that wasn't like so good, but he wasn't there for very long, and then he moved on. And then all the ones after that, and even before that, were always pretty good. They always took care of their guys. So I wanted to make sure if I decided to stay in the military, I wanted to make sure that I would have been a good supervisor too.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I would take care of my guys too.
That's good. It's always good, you know.
Oh yeah.
Any last words for the viewers?
Guys, I mean, if you go into the military, just look at your resources. There's all kinds of resources online that can explain kind of what BMT would look like. There's YouTubers out there that have like literally step by steps on like what each week kind of looks like, and even research. Do research on what the jobs are. Look at what you want to be. Don't just go open mechanical. Don't go open general. If you want to be a military police or something like that, just go get that job. Like, don't go open because you might get a janitor job and you're really going to hate it.
Oh, that would really suck.
That would really suck.
That would really suck.
But I mean, some people might like it.
Oh, who knows? You know what I mean?
Who knows? It's a job. I mean, you can't get fired, right?
Okay.
From the job, you're in a contract with the government. So they'll put you somewhere where you deserve to be. If you're going to be a hard ass or hard headed, stubborn, they'll put you somewhere you don't want to be. But if you get your job, they'll take care of you.
Okay, that's good.
So yeah, be that guy.
Yeah. Well, guys, appreciate you guys joining. Give some love to Aaron and also the military people over there. You know, I mean, appreciate you guys. Working. Being a part of the government, military, because I mean, it's very important right there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very important.
I was happy to serve.
Yeah. I would have been too if I would not been lazy, like I said. But who knows? Maybe they might accept me at my age. Who knows? All right, guys. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. All right. Bye.
Breaking news or cool interviews, we keep it real, no scripted cues. From wild debates to heartfelt tales, strap in tight, this train never derails. We bring the vibes, the beats won't stop. Tune in now, we rise to the top. Laugh, cry, shout, feel every drop. This podcast here is cream of the